Once again, welcome students to this BCom Secondary Supplementary English class. We are discussing the story The Lighthouse Keeper of Aspinwall. This is the second lecture of uh, the same story. Right, we'll be moving ahead with this story. So I have already told you about these two characters, that is Kavinsky, which is a very important character so far as the story is concerned, and second is Mr. Isaac Falconbridge. So Mr. Kavinsky is shown as an applicant and this person is shown as an interviewer, means the person who is going to take the interview of this Kavinsky. Okay, why I am using these two words, interviewer and interviewee? You will come to know about all these things because at this particular point of time, this particular person, that is Kavinsky, this character on this story, has come to Aspinwall for this particular post, has applied for this particular post, that is Lighthouse Keeper. Okay, but it does not mean that he was not working anywhere in his previous lives. Definitely he was working somewhere, and where actually he had visited so many places, different countries. By this time has good experience of different cultures and the works also, right? So what was he doing earlier? It's important for all of us to know. He's about 70 years old man. In his earlier life, he was working as a gold miner in Australia. He worked as a gold miner in Australia. He was a diamond digger in California. He was a tradesman or a businessman in the interior of the Brazil also. He was in America, then went to Brazil, in Australia also. It means he wandered like a gypsy into various countries of the places. Yes, he had visited various places. Okay, he wandered in the dense and dangerous jungles of Amazon also. He served as a sailor on a vessel or the ship running between Bahia and Bordeaux. He had a cigar factory. He had his cigar factory also in Havana, and lastly he came to Aspinwall. Okay, actually he was in search of peace. He was in search of tranquility, and that's why he came to this place. This is always near the sea or the ocean, and just water and water is there. Okay, only ships and waters, and no human contact is there. So kind of tranquility is also there. This kind of natural phenomena is there. Okay, and if a person who wants calmness, who wants tranquility, who wants peace, then definitely such a place is perfect place for that particular person. But the job is not so easy. Still, even though he's shown as a 70 years old man, he has come to this place and has applied for the post of Lighthouse Keeper. I told you about the places he visited, the work he did in his life, in his earlier life. But apart from being the tradesman, being a servant, being a serviceman, being a sailor, he was a soldier also. Okay, he had received medals, crosses from different countries for his bravery. He had received such medals of the crosses by America, from America, French, Spanish, and Hungary, etc. Okay, he was honored with the medals by these armies or these countries for his bravery. It means it shows that he was a man of caliber. He was a man of competency. He's shown here as a man of competency. He's shown as a brave man. Okay, and in his earlier life he had done all these kinds of jobs. Now let's move ahead. Actually, what happened one day before Kavinsky came to this place, that is Aspinwall, a person was already posted as a lighthouse keeper. He was there, but suddenly he went missing. He disappeared. Nobody knew where actually he went, whether he was alive or was no more. It was not clear to anyone else. Okay, and it was the necessity of the authorities to appoint a new person, because the post is very important. The post was also very important. In general, also the post is important. Okay, because the lighthouse keeper shows the flags of the lanterns, flags in the daytime and lanterns in the night time, in order to show they work as kind of indicators. Okay, there. And because of those flags and the lanterns, the vessels of the ships which are navigating to the waters of the oceans or the seas can go into the proper direction. Otherwise, there is much more possibility that they misled. Okay, and they can even miss the right path also because of the storms and bad weather. So, in order to avoid all these things, a person is always appointed at the lighthouse, and he's called what? Lighthouse keeper. So, this person had applied for this post. Now, he was just a candidate, and Mr. Isaac Falconbridge was a person who was going to take his interview, conduct his interview. So after that man who was working as the lighthouse keeper at Aspinwall went missing, the authorities had to appoint a new person. That's why this Mr. Isaac Falconbridge was very happy that he had got a candidate, but he was doubtful. He was skeptical about the ability of Skaminsky. But when he came to know about his medals and his bravery and the honors, etc., and after he was convinced that Mr. Skaminsky was a brave man and had the caliber, even the physical strength was in him, and it was possible for him to do this job, he was appointed. See, what is the importance of this? It is given here. It was necessary to fill this place of this particular post at the earliest moment possible, since the lighthouse had no small significance. I have already told you. Okay, for the local movement as well as for vessels going from New York to Panama. This particular thing is given here, right? But in general, they are there to show proper directions to the vessels, right? This task was not so easy. The task of finding a new keeper fell to the United States Council, and this was the authorized person. Okay, living in Panama. I have already told that this Aspinwall place is near Panama in the USA. And this task was no small one because of two reasons. First, because it was absolutely necessary to find a man within 12 hours of the disappearing that particular person who was already working there as the lighthouse keeper. Means within 12 hours they had to fill up this post. Okay, they had to appoint a new lighthouse keeper there. Okay. Secondly, the man must be unusually conscientious. Okay, he must be very careful in his work, very punctual. Right. So these two things were there to take into consideration, right? And the place was also not surrounded by the people because it was near sea, and the locality was not there, right? It was really hard to work as the lighthouse keeper because of the reasons which are given here. What Aspinwall brings in provisions and waters once a day. Means the person who was there, he was provided with food or water only once a day. Means he could see the people, okay, on the vessel only once a day. Rest of the time had to be just alone there, right? Near about 400 stairs were there, and he had to climb those stairs in order to bring the lantern which was kept at the bottom, and had to carry it with him, or the flags even, to the top, so that he could indicate the vessels of the ships properly, right? There are about 400 steep and very high steps. Just think about that, and most probably had to do that climbing and again coming down, this kind of journey more than once or more than even twice. So it was a kind of hard work. In fact, it was a kind of hard work. And as I have already told that Mr. Skaminsky was 70 years old. First of all, in the very beginning, actually, Mr. Isaac Falconbridge was somewhat skeptical or somewhat doubtful about his ability. But when he showed his all documents and told about his bravery, his being the soldier in his life, he was convinced. Mr. Isaac Falconbridge was convinced that he would be able to work there. Okay, and he was actually willing. He was actually willing. So how the interview took place there, definitely we'll be discussing about that also. But that in the next video. So we stop here. Thank you.